Hey guys, welcome to another raid video. And I haven't done a champion guide in quite a while. It's been, far too long, so I'm going to start again with Ursuga Warcaller, aka Valkyrie's mum. She's definitely a bit of a beast. Look at her. She's a fine woman, that is right there. She's got some big ass horns, big ass helmet. She's pretty cool. She's a really cool champ. She's an HP based legendary, void legendary, so tough to get from the Barbarians faction. And she's tough as nails. So a few people have asked now about doing a video on her because I use her in my defensive team and she's pretty strong there. So let's just go ahead and see what her skill kit does first. She's got an A1 with a 60% when booked chance of placing block cooldown skills. Damage based on HP, which is good. It's decent for an A1. Not outstanding, but it's decent. Her A2 is really, really cool. It targets specific champions this way, so decrease crit damage and decrease attack on anyone whose attack is higher than defense. So any nukers, any damage dealers suddenly get a massive decrease in their damage, but then also places decreased speed and decreased defense on two targets whose attack is equal to or lower than their defense. So anyone that's dealing damage based on defense or tanky champions get a debuff as well. So really cool. I like the way they've done this skill. It's very, very good. Our A3 places ally protection on all allies except this champion for 3 turns, which is solid. 3 turns, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown, so this is always up. Then places 25% strengthen on this champion for 3 turns, so that's crazy. So as long as you can get this off, she'll have it up all the time. And it works extremely well with what makes her kit so good is this Golden Guard passive. So it decreases the damage all allies receive from critical hits by 30%. This champion will receive that damage instead. So this is basically like a Selfless Defender mastery, but built into her kit. Really, really strong. The only issue with this champion so far that I've found is her AI. So her AI will always favor barrel through first. Whereas ideally with this ability here, you would love her to use this first, because that's going to give her more protection, because she's going to take a ton of damage from this ability. So you really want to get that strengthen up on her ally protection on everyone else. That makes her really, really tough. That's the only gripe I have with her. But I'll show you the way I've built her first, and I'll explain how I use her. Incidentally, she's also got HP aura in all battles by 33%, which I think is the same as like Sir Nick and Roshcard and all the other HP champions. So this is the way I've got her built. There's 2 or 3 ways to build her. Really, you could build her with a ton of accuracy and go for those debuffs. I don't know, that's probably better in PvE content, to be honest. In PvP, there's tons of block debuffs coming up everywhere. I don't really think it's feasible to build her with that much accuracy and still have enough stats to make her, well, you could if you had the right gear, but I honestly think that that's not the way to go with her. So what I've done is I've just built her insanely tanky. So she's at 100k HP, 5.1k defense, 543 resistance. The thing that makes her really, really good, and I should have mentioned this before, is her base stats. So if we have a look at her base stats here, she's got 23k HP, small amount of attack, but she doesn't need that, so it's good that they've not put much into attack. 1.5k defense, 108 speed, and 50 base resistance. So I don't think there is, in fact there's definitely not another champion in the game with that high base stats all around the board. You know, you get like Mountain King's like 30 odd k HP, but the rest of his stuff's lower. She's got like the really, really high defense, something you would expect from a big defense based champion. Really, really high HP, higher than like plenty HP champions out there. Nearly the same speed as Arbiter, so like crazy speed, 50 base resistance. I mean, she's totally solid, so any percentage increases you get in your kit are going to make her skyrocket in stats. So it was fairly easy to build her to this here, and I'm running her in a Lydia team with 100 resistance from the aura, so she's actually about 650 resistance, which resists most things apart from the kind of top end Madames, which is fine. That's what I was going for. 152 speed. She is slow. She's definitely slow. There's a method to this. Occasionally, if you make her the slowest in your team, she seems to use her bottoms up more. If you put her faster, she'll 100% use barrel through all the time. What I want her to do is use bottoms up. So if she is the last to go in your team and they've taken damage, she will use this ability. So that's the reason I've got her so slow. Also, once she gets to strengthen up for 3 turns, I mean, she's pretty tough to kill. And she keeps everyone else alive really well with this ability, and plus strengthen. All you need is someone to heal her a little bit if you can, and that's it. So to make all this, I have used a 4-piece deflection set and 1 divine speed set. So the divine speed's really good. You get an extra shield on her, so it gives her even more survivability, 15% HP, which is 100,000 HP, which is a decent shield. And she isn't deflection. Now, people badmouth deflection all the time. It's not as good as Swift Parry, yeah, but I don't particularly use it for the 25% chance. I'm really using it for the 20% HP and 20% defense. Because if you use the, say, an immortal set and use, or just an HP set and use the defense set, so you're going to get, I think it's 12 or 15% defense and 15% HP for two sets. So that's 4 pieces. So you've only got the 15 and the 20, the two 15%. For the same 4 pieces here, you're getting 20% HP and 20% defense. Now the idea is you're not stacking defense, so I can't have like 40% defense off these 2 pieces. But you don't want that. In today's meta, you want a mix of defense and HP for your tanky champions, because people are just going to ignore so much defense right now. You need a ton of HP in there to make you survivable. So in my eyes, deflection has gone way up in estimations, because, I mean, you could use resilience. That does the same exact thing, but if you use deflection, it's like using 2 pieces of resilience, plus you get this little added bonus to deflect the debuff. So why wouldn't you take it? It's a free ability, effectively, for me. And to be honest, it's pretty strong. And it doesn't feel broken or cheating. Although it is still RNG, I feel like Swift Parry will get nerfed. It has to be, because it just feels ridiculously way too strong. It's far too strong. That's another video. But this doesn't feel too bad, and it is actually pretty cool every time you deflect a debuff onto the attacker. So yeah, I think it's a really strong set. So to get all of this, I've pretty much gone for HP, resistance, a little bit of accuracy here and there. If I've got like 150 accuracy, I can pretty much land some debuffs on, you know, stuff like Trun does, the damage dealers, that's fine. I'm not going to be landing on much else. It does do quite a lot of damage actually, A2 as well. If you were to build her for damage, you could probably deal something. On her helmet, it's just resistance, bit of speed there just to give her some speed. Resistance, defense, speed, triple defense roll on here, that's a good piece, resistance. Unfortunately, I got 1 chest piece with HP on it, but it rolled double a flat attack. If that had just rolled more defense and resistance, this would have been really strong. So I'm waiting on a better HP piece. Triple resistance and HP on here is really good. And then resistance. So I'm not actually running resistance chest, so I could potentially, you know, have her up at 650-ish, 750 plus Lydia resistance, which will get around most Madams actually. So that is got potential out there, but I prefer just giving her loads of HP, because you still want her to just tank loads of hits. That's the idea with this build. On the other 2 pieces, just a mix of HP. I've got HP on both of them, but you could run defense or HP, but I've had good defense rolls in my gear, so I'm at like 5k defense. If you get 5k defense, that's more than enough. Just beast as much HP as you can, and that's going to do you. So the masteries I'm running on her, I'm running resistance, defiant, and straight down to unshakable. Definitely selfless defender. You want that initial hit. The idea with this build is it's going to be going slower than the fast teams that are attacking your defense team. So her passive plus selfless defender, you're going to survive that first crazy Trunda nuke, and then after that it's just plain sailing. You just grind it out. You might not win the games, but you're going to keep them in for ages trying to win the game. Hopefully they'll just leave during reset. That's the idea. Retribution, but just to get down to here. Definitely want delay death. Definitely want resurgent. That's probably, yeah, it's probably the strongest mastery for Platinum Arena anyway just now, I find. I think it's an incredible mastery, this one. Really strong. Improved parry. Obviously you want to try and decrease the damage received by crit hits, because that is what she's going to be taking, so any damage mitigation on that is really good. And there's an argument here to be made. I wanted to get Laura Steele just to get all those extra percentage bonuses, because her base stats are so high, but I've gone through these 3 accuracy I potentially might just change that and put on a little bit more HP. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see how it goes. She never really lands those debuffs anyway, so I feel these are a little bit pointless. But you do want Lore of Steel, and it's quite handy having Master Hexer if you do land their debuffs on the attacker, then you can slow them down for a bit more. So I'll maybe just keep it like this for the now. But that is the Warcaller. So her reviews here, I'm not going to go through them all, but she's solid everywhere, to be honest. She'll absolutely tank you through any content in the game, absolutely anything, but she is not a speedrunner. She will get you through content, but not super fast. But she'll take a ton of damage, and she'll, if you put the accuracy on her, 230, 240 plus is more than enough for dungeons. She'll really slow down those opponents. Great for Doom Tower, getting you through the content. Just a really solid champion all round. But this build, I've built her specifically for one thing, and that's for Arena. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push her into a few games just now, just to show you how she works. Right, so let's have a look through. We're in Arena now, we're in Platinum Arena. I think we're at like rank 133 or something, nothing too crazy, but let's have a look through for a decent team. There, we've got a strong T-Swift, so he's always got some good teams on him. His Candrafon hits really, really hard, so let's go in and fight this guy. So this is the team here. So I'm using Lydia as the lead, and then I've got a shield set Mountain King, Duchess at pretty high resistance, and obviously Ursuga taking all the damage. And yeah, let's just go ahead and we'll start this up. So what I'm going to do is I might just leave this on auto. Let's see how much damage this Candrafon can do on this very first hit. Boom. See? Nothing. Took all the damage away from everyone else. And if I was to manual this, I could pretty easily win this fight. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to auto it and see if I can beat him on auto, because that is the way it's going to be running as a defense team. Okay, I take a bit more damage there. That's, but Mountain King's taking some hits here. There we go, we've got Strengthen up finally from Lydia. There's the problem with her not using her Strengthen debuff right away. Now that Strengthen's on, it should be a bit easier. Mountain King's starting to get killed, so his attack goes up. And there, she's killed the Hegemon. Block debuffs is up. And then Lydia's passive kicks in, which is really, really strong. Now the Arbiter's down. Oh, we've taken damage off him, but boom. So there you go. On auto, we've beat an extremely strong team. And if I had manualed that, it would have been much easier and I wouldn't have lost all of my champions. But that is a strong Candrafon, and he deals a ton of damage, and it was not able to mark any of my team there. So unbelievably strong. Again, I just wish she used her A3 first, and she would be so strong. At the moment, she's kind of competing with Necrit, who's a really, really strong alternative. He's got great damage mitigation as well, but it's more based on one champion at a time, but he's got more in his kit. But in terms of just pure damage mitigation, Ursaga's the best. She's 100% the best, and the fact that her kits, her base stats are so good, that it just makes her really, really tanky. So let's do a few more games, and we'll try and find another. We'll try and find some Trundas actually, so and try and find a really tough Trunda to try this out against. Right, so here we go. We've got a Trunda at the top of this one here, so let's jump into the game. And again, we'll just click auto. There we go. Somehow he slipped my Lydia there, who's like 750 resistance. That's crazy. But Trunda does absolutely nothing. Actually, somehow managed to stun my 800 resistance Duchess, which is really unlucky. So Lydia looks like she's going to go down. But yeah, as you can see, Trunda's the hardest hitting champ in the game, and she's not been able to do very much to my champions because of this beast. And because we have Lydia on the team, we've got that added bonus of when Arbiter does try and revive, it's not going to happen. And my Lydia's actually going to get revived. So Lydia's a great addition to this team. Look, none of that is going to get happening, and Lydia comes back up. Boom, dead. Really, really strong defense team. Because Mountain King's in there as well, you can really do some damage, which catches people off guard, and you can actually win the odd few defense fights. I mean, the top platinum teams are usually always going to kill you. This hopefully just kind of slows it down a little bit. or puts them off attacking you. Right, scrolling down the list, there is another Trunda down here. I'll try and find a really strong one. I'm pretty sure she's strong. And he's also got Ghostborn, which means decreased defense will go on. So chances are I will lose to this team pretty badly. I think anyway. But it'll be interesting to see how much damage Trunda can do with decreased defense down on everyone. He also has Ursuga in there as well, which is quite interesting. An interesting team. So let's see how much damage I can actually soak up with this one. Definitely not going to win this one, I don't think. Right, so she does her thing, decreased defense. There we go, still survive absolutely everything, even with decreased defense on. So that is really, really strong. And obviously we want that ability next. We'll auto. We're not going to be able to do much in this fight, but yeah. We killed that Trunda at least. We got our own back. The good thing is my Duchess at the moment hasn't really got glyphs for her defense and HP. So if I can get her defense and HP up and had her survive that, or have her in swift parry, that would have been a pretty strong revive there, and then there wouldn't have been much they could have done after that, because once you get the healing on Ursuga, it's pretty tough to kill her. So that is Valkyrie's mum, the beast. That is Ursuga Warcaller. Super cool champion. Again, please Plarium, just fix her AI and make her use her A3 first. That would make her so much stronger. Really, really tough to kill that way. At the moment, I'm actually using the strengthen from Lydia because she uses her A2 first. So even if she doesn't, I mean, the fact that she's slower most of the time, if she needs the protection and she's taking damage, she will use it. But occasionally she doesn't. It just seems to vary randomly. At least the Siren's Wail will put the strengthen up on her, and that'll start covering her for a little bit. But the ally protection is really good as well. So that is the video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a while since I did a champion guide, so please leave in the comments below any other champions you want me to do a guide on, providing I have them, or I could jump on your account and do a guide if you want me to as well. Yeah, and that's it. Please like and subscribe to the channel as usual. Keep the bell button ticked for notifications to pop up, and have a great day, guys. Peace.